Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is April the 25th. I'm coming to you with another episode of Getting That Ass Larry. Before I really get started on this, it is random draft is my pick now, actually, so let me go ahead and select hero. I really feel like playing Juggernaut. This hero is one of my favorites. I think I'm going to play him, even though he's not the best choice for his Queen of Pain. I'm going to go ahead and pick Juggernaut. So before I get started, I just want to say I very recently passed 500 subscribers, so that's a big milestone for me. And I just want to say thank you all you guys out there who have been watching my videos and supporting me. I really appreciate it. I hope you continue to enjoy them. If you guys have any feedback, as always, I'm always looking to get better, always looking to improve the content, so I'd love to hear from you. If you have ideas on what I can do differently, what I can do better. But if you're subscribed, I'm guessing that you enjoyed enough to, keep on watching. So feel free to give me that feedback, but in the meantime, I do hope you enjoy it. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to be playing Juggernaut this game. He's actually a decent hero versus their lineup, at least the way they're picking. Juggernaut is very strong against magic or spell-dependent heroes. The reason for this is twofold. First of all, he has Blade Fury, which makes him magically immune. So it's very good against things like Epicenter, things like Poison Nova, pretty much anything Queen of Pain does. He also has Omni Slash, which makes him invulnerable while he's using it. Omni Slash does a bunch of damage, randomly bounces into targets. You can read more about it here. But the general gist of it is Juggernaut is really good against heroes that are reliant on magic damage. He's not quite as good against this guy, but he's still decent. When you play Juggernaut, your goal is to get a lot of kills early. He's not the best late game hero. He does have Critical Strike in Blade Dance, so it's a decent late game spell. It's actually a very high percentage chance compared to other Critical Strike abilities. But it's nothing too amazing. He doesn't have any evasion. He doesn't have any crazy attack speed buffs. So generally you need to have a good start with him in order to be successful in the late game. If it just comes down to a farm war, Dragon Knight's going to outcarry him. Pretty much everyone on my team does not scale. I'm going to go top lane. It's probably going to be Queen of Pain here. She could go mid. If it's Queen of Pain in the top lane, I might have some trouble getting kills. That's really what you want to be doing on Juggernaut. Ideally, you want to get kills early on. It's okay if you're farming. I mean, he can benefit from it. But the goal is to be very aggressive. So hopefully I'll get a lane that I can kill early. And if I'm able to, then, you'll see the power of this hero. We have a lot of good supports. I'm hoping I'll get to lane with the Crystal Maiden. She's pretty much the best hero you can pair with Juggernaut. For anyone who's not familiar with him, he has a skill called Blade Fury. The way that Blade Fury works, does a bunch of damage in an AoE around the Juggernaut. 80 damage level 1 over 5 seconds. That's 400 damage before reduction for those who are too lazy or unable to do the math. That's a lot of freaking damage. The problem is, it only does it if you're right on top of them. So smart opponents will normally pick into heroes that can blink away or teleport out or do something to escape your range. If you're a Darkseer, you can Surge Weight. There's a lot of ways to prevent Juggernaut from doing damage. I'm actually going to hide in the secret shop. This is something I do recommend doing in lower level to medium level pub games. You can often get a first blood right off the bat just by hiding and backstabbing. This is reliant on your ally actually coming to help you.
Of course.
And this guy appears to be going mid, so yeah, I don't think this first blood attempt is going to happen. He's actually going to run into Venomancer, who, from the looks of it, is warding. I'm going to mosey my way over here. Although it looks like he's wising up, he's going to back off. Venomancer is definitely a hero you can kill. It's a pretty good lane opponent for Juggernaut. Oh man, Crystal Maiden, you are in a lot of trouble. I think she's actually going to be okay. No, that's a dead Crystal Maiden. Oh, that's unfortunate. My first blood aspirations almost immediately gone. I might be able to kill this Venomancer if he comes this way. It's like almost not even worth getting this killed. I say that because if you have to spend this much time running over... Oh, if he nets him, he's dead. Net. Well, a double kill in exchange for a first blood. Not too bad. They're not getting experience either. Although I'm going to miss... I think that's the second wave. I'm going to miss a lot of experience, so that's kind of unfortunate. I think we accidentally did a pull as well.
I go.
Yeah, you go, girl.
Of course.
So I did go with a Quelling Blade early on. The reason for that is you want to be able to last hit. Juggernaut's not going to farm all game, but he does need a decent amount of farm. Normally you want to go for phase boots. This helps you chase while you're in Blade Fury, which is important in order to stay on top of them and do damage. He has a good animation, but his base damage is not that great, especially early on. So now I have boots. this is where you can start to be more aggressive,
I bring my blade.
especially if the Sand King is left alone. I'm going to be doing my best to deny him farm. You shouldn't do what I just did there, which is I traded a deny for a last hit, and I'm also going to miss that one. Generally, if you have a choice, you want to go for the last hits. And he should not be doing that. Although he's going to get a TP, he's going to
It's an honor.
miss his stun. That's kind of sad for him. This is also kind of sad for me, because now I got to run all the way around. Yeah, I don't know. That's almost not worth it. I'm going to get an invis, though, and now I can probably set up a kill on the top lane.
You won't be seeing me around.
I mean, ideally you want to leave the... No, we're not going to kill him. Much better to go for these two.
I fight.
We can't kill them this close to the tower, though. So my goal... It looked like I was baiting him there a little bit. I want to make sure they go in on him, so I can get a kill. Trading a CM for a kill on the Juggernaut is not a bad trade. I could have gone a little earlier, but he could have also just backed off, so they kind of had to commit. CM shouldn't have played it like that. She should have stayed farther back and waited for them to push out before she went in. But it worked out okay in the end.
Increases.
I'm going for stats. You can go for
Attack.
one cool build on Juggernaut, which I might show you guys this game. I'm not sure. Is you go for Blade Fury and you go for Healing Ward. Now, normally you don't have the mana to support this on Juggernaut early on, but why does she keep on going for him at the tower? I am so confused. Well, I guess he's going to die because he's out of mana. I didn't check his mana, but normally you can just Burrow Strike out of that.
As you wish.
So, yeah, this is the power of Juggernaut early game. If they had a hero who can, like, blink or has any other escape mechanism, then he's a... I don't want to say he's worthless, but all you can really do is farm. But because of their heroes, he ends up being very effective. Of course, my team is kind of losing the other lanes. Oh, that's okay, a 1-for-1 trade, not too bad.
Attack.
So, at this point I'm just trying to zone the Sand King out. He used Sandstorm there, he really didn't need to. But at this point he's pretty scared. If you're the Sand King in this position, the best thing you can do is just save your Burrow Strike for when Juggernaut spins on you, and then Burrow Strike away. So, he's not really playing it that well, but at the same time, he might have been out of mana there. I didn't actually check. Which is something you should do, because if I'd gone on him and he'd Burrow Striked away, I would have just taken a lot of unnecessary tower damage.
I fight.
As we do see my mid disconnecting. That's not good. What the CM should be doing right now is pulling the creeps. Like, especially when it's just Sand King up here, I don't need any help. I can lane against him just fine. If he tries to do anything aggressive, I can just spin on him and punish him for it. Yeah, so I guess I didn't check. If they ward this camp, you can also pull this one. You generally want to pull it when the creeps are about here. You pull that, and then you pull them over here. And the timing works out about right. So I drew a little diagram for him. I probably could have been talking while I did that, but I think that's right. I'd sort of do it by feel, so if my diagram's off, then he might screw it up, but hey. Honestly, I'd rather get the experience, even if it means that he's not here. I actually might go for a hand of Midas. This is a good way to sort of win in a pub game, honestly, is to just get really far ahead in terms of farm. The other option is to get Phase Boots or Soul Ring here. As he did actually get the pull off, so well done by him. That's kind of a hard pull to do, especially on your first try. Careful, both missing top. So if they're smart, they're going to realize that he's pulling, and what he wants to be doing is standing like off to the right of the creeps on the far side, so that they can't just walk up and own him.
It's an honor.
So I know the Hand of Midas thing kind of goes against what I was saying. Juggernaut is better in the early to mid game. But as long as you can get it really quickly, you can still be a force in the mid game. Especially here like Juggernaut, he's got a lot of built-in damage. The Midas just means that you'll be able to farm faster. So at this point, I'm just continuing to get farm. They're not going to kill me. Ideally, I'd like to be the one to initiate on them though. he's smart, he's gonna burrow strike out, which he did, but he kind of did it late.
Swiftly now.
Creep's gonna stop him. I probably could have gotten that kill, but Venno does hurt like a bitch. So.
Witch Doctor miss.
On it.
And between his pet, oh man, this guy making me very unhappy. Oh no, I didn't see him come back around. Oh, that was a huge misplay by me.
Possible.
I'm actually gonna buy backs. I think I can get 2 kills here. This is where phase boots would be super helpful, by the way. He's out of mana, so that's 1 kill. And then if I'm lucky, I'm gonna go to use my ultimate to get another kill. Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me.
So you say
Nova?
the roots of discipline.
Yeah.
As you wish.
That was really unfortunate. I should have tried to get like 1 right click off first. So the reason I bought back there is it's not that expensive early game, and if you get the hero kill, then not only does it give you gold and sort of make up for the buyback, it also denies them some money. So I'm pretty much back where I was a minute ago. So it does slow down my farm a bit, but you know, again, not the biggest deal in the world. I'm still farming pretty well. About to hit level 7. Juggernaut is a decent pushing hero early on. His Blade Fury does a lot of damage to creeps.
As you wish.
The danger with pushing with Blade Fury is then you don't have it if you need to escape. But in this case, I feel reasonably safe. Because they don't really have anyone that can punish me for using Blade Fury. Other than this Queen of Pain who's just been sitting mid.
Witch Doctor missing.
That being said, I didn't have the creep wave really in my favor, and Blade Fury isn't cooldown. So I have the Midas recipe. I usually buy it first when I'm going for Midas. The reason for that is it's more expensive, and if you end up dying, then you don't have to worry about saving up for it.
Look me in the
So that's just my personal preference. It doesn't do anything for you until you complete it. So that would be an argument to get the Gloves of Haste, as I'm not really last hitting too well. It's funny how I was last hitting well with less damage at the beginning of the game, and now I'm missing a lot, but it's okay.
battle. Paid in full.
This guy wants to go on me. I'm going to go ahead and Blade Fury just to get my Midas. I don't know what he was thinking there, but I don't think he understands how that works.
Healing magic.
I'm not going to be able to kill him, but if she buys sentries, we will.
On it.
Xeno's bot.
On it.
Okay, so you saw me go over and use my Midas. The reason is you really want to get started using this. Oh shit. Oh god, if he has a Spur Strike, I'm dead. That was a little bit dangerous by me. I wasn't really paying attention. I just noticed at the last second that Sand King was not here. I'm going to get this last creep. I'm going to go head towards the base. That was a kind of, I don't want to say it was a greedy dive, but that was a very risky play by me. But, you know, I figured that he'd probably use the stun because I heard him. It was about to come off cooldown, so it was definitely a close call. I would not say I'm playing very well this game, but you don't really have to play all that well in Juggernaut to do well. He does a lot of damage early. It's pretty easy to farm him. Now that I have the Midas up, things are going to be a lot more easy for me. I'm going to be getting phase boots next. At that point, you're wide open in terms of what you build. I personally like to go for Drum. The reason for that is it helps solve any mana issues you have. You can go for Soul Ring, but you really don't need it unless you want to get your Healing Ward max super early on. And at this point, I mean, we're past that stage where I think it's really worth trying to rush that. Soul Ring doesn't do much for you in the mid game. Usually I like to go for Battle Fury after the Drum. And this is more of a pub build. I'm not saying it's like what you should do in a serious game, but it seems to work for me for the most part. Battle Fury is nice because it gives you regen, so you constantly can spam Healing Ward and Blade Fury, as well as have mana for your ultimate. It does give you a lot of damage, which synergizes well with your critical strike, and it's pretty easy to build. The Perseverance is really nice to have early. So we're going to see Midas coming off cooldown. I'm going for the big creeps. The reason that I'm going for the big creeps is they give you a lot more experience, even though overall you end up, it gives you a flat 190 gold, so you end up getting less gold overall if you Midas a big creep than if you Midas a small creep. But the advantage of doing this is that you level up faster, and ultimately the levels are more important than the farm, especially in a hero who's strongest in the early game like Juggernaut. So we are going to see a little bit of an engagement there. Now without Dust I can't kill this guy. I can however farm freely and make him very uncomfortable. I'm going to buy a magic wand, actually no. Can you ward this tower?
you
We can
wish.
get mid tower if you drop wards. Yeah, as soon as they're up. So with the Shadow Shaman, we can push this tower down. I actually could Blade Fury the creeps, but I'd rather hold on to it. We don't really need it too much. Actually, maybe we will. We may have to wait for the next creep wave.
It's an honor.
Go drop the wards. Never mind, wait for the next creep wave.
A fine idea.
So I'm tempted to go back top. I kind of want to be here because I feel like he's about to get ganked, and Juggernaut's a pretty strong hero to scare people off.
Attack.
As we are going to see Sand King go in on the offensive here. And you can see Blade Fury making that stuff do absolutely nothing to me. Of course, Omni Slash, not the best spell to have there. She can blink out of that. That's why I was sort of mumbling to myself about that not being a good play. But she did not, so it worked out. Gonna get a magic wand, gonna get another TP. And as that happens, I'm gonna use my Midas. You'll see I used it on a regular lane creep there.
I am not ready.
And I believe the rune is top. This is kind of risky, but I have Blade Fury, so...
Double damage.
I went for that because I wanted to deny it to
So you
the
say?
teal. Well, actually, I thought I saw someone else. But either way, I wanted to deny it to the enemy hero. So, I'm leveling up Healing Ward over Crit, because I personally think that Healing Ward is a lot more useful early game. I also use Blade Fury here, which was just me not thinking. You actually, whenever you use Blade Fury, it'll remove any runes you have. I'm not sure if it purges all positive buffs, but I know it removes runes in particular. So, you know, in that case I removed the double damager, and I should have held on to the Blade Fury and just right-clicked. But the Healing Ward is really nice. It's got a lot of utility, whereas Crit is better in the late game when you have more damage. So I'm going to be farming top pretty aggressively. DK can stun me and do a little bit of damage, but he's not going to kill me by himself. I can always Blade Fury or Phase Boot out. I do see 3 heroes mid, so I know it's safe to farm here. Now I see purple coming top, so it's time to get the hell out. I'm thinking about porting bottom, but my allies push that lane. So I'm not going to be able to farm there, so I'm just going to farm the neutrals for a little bit. Ideally what I want to do here is pull them over here, that way I'm not tanking them. You might be wondering, well, why aren't you using Blade Fury to farm these? Actually, I do enough damage, I'm just going to right-click them. You want to hold on to that mana so that if you do get ganked. Blade Fury is not, at this point in the game, it still does a lot of damage, but it's more of an escape mechanism. You use it for the magic immunity. Like, early on it's a very strong killing ability, but as the game progresses, it becomes much more of an escape
As you
mechanism.
wish.
You'll see a lot of like inexperienced Juggernaut players will actually use Blade Fury.
Very well.
Like, even in the super late game, they'll have like a Butterfly, a Desolator, a bunch of damage items, and you'll still see them using Blade Fury.
Sand King's bottom, you guys should probably push mid.
I don't know about that. But you'll see them using Blade Fury very... like, they'll use it as though it's their strongest weapon, and really once you get 1 damage item, Blade Fury does a lot less damage. I mean, even now, I'm probably auto-tagging almost, not as hard as Blade Fury, but reasonably close. I now have my Perseverance up, I'm going to buy that. This is not the most exciting Juggernaut game I've played. I'm sorry I'm not ganking a little bit more. You certainly can be more aggressive. But the way this game is panning out, we got a bunch of early towers and they're playing very defensively, so... In this situation, you can try and force things, but Juggernaut's not the best hero to do that. I want to point out Dragon Knight's doing a smart thing of not pushing his lane, which is allowing him to farm pretty safely. What I should be doing is pulling the lane, and that'll force him to leave the tower. I've kind of just been farming the camps, but really you want to pull them, and then you want to just last hit the creeps. Of course, the downside is you farm slower. Normally, I'd say DK is a much better late game hero, but I am pretty far ahead in terms of items. This is the, one of the benefits to getting the Midas early. As I actually blocked that camp, so shame on me.
Not yet.
Yeah, make sure you don't block your jungle camps when you're farming. That's a good way to slow down your farm by quite a bit. Once I complete the Battle Fury, I'm going to be constantly pushing the lanes, but for now, I'm not going to be able to kill really anyone on their team by myself. Juggernaut is really strong at killing early, and then he drops off pretty remarkably without support. I probably should be down there with my team, but at this point it's too late to arrive. This Lena getting really big. Good job, Mr. Young. So generally, like, if you know where they are, you either want to be with your team or pushing the lane. So in this case, I know there's one top. I know two just died bottom. I'm guessing they're going to be trying to. The rest are going to be trying to defend this. So I'm going to go mid and force them to make a choice. You always want to make your opponents make trade-offs if possible. I'm going to drop the healing ward. This is going to help me push, also get me back to full health, which will make me a little bit safer. You can tell your healing ward just to follow you like a creep unit, and that's pretty nice. I'm going to blade through the creeps. Again, I'm just trying to push the lane and apply pressure. Generally, this is what you want to do on any hero that you're not trying to kill enemies with. If you're not warding, if you're not ganking, you want to be doing something to make your presence felt in the game. Does anyone on the team have a bottle? I don't think so, so I'm probably going to go ahead and take this. Queen of Pain might have one. Or, sorry, not Queen of Pain, Shadow Shaman. He does, but he was all the way top, so not a big deal. Getting the rune before they can is pretty nice. With an Invis, Juggernaut's one of the most deadly heroes to have an Invis rune on. And of course, the reason for that is his Omni Slash, he really wants to isolate you, and being invisible is one of the best ways to do that. So I'm actually going to go camp over here. This is one of my favorite spots in the map to gank from. You get good vision into the lane, and opponents really never expect you to be there. And you can also sort of roam over here, see if anyone's coming up this ramp. Pretty good place to have an invis ramp. Let's get top tower.
It's an honor.
So they're all going to have to come back here immediately or they're going to lose this tower.
Yeah, you have to get top there. In jungle.
I was just trying to control my hero there. So with the healing ward, it heals everything really quickly in an AoE, but one attack from a hero or a summon will kill it. So it becomes very important to micro the ward, and mostly just to position it at the correct location once. So you can do cool tricks with it, like for example, hide the healing ward in the trees, and then stand over here and fight an enemy hero, kind of body block them from getting to it. You can also, make your opponents try and chase the healing ward and then do a bunch of damage to them. So you want to get as creative as possible with it, but while at the same time still keep it alive. So at this point, just continuing to farm, continuing to try and push the advantage that we already have. With the Perseverance, you can comfortably spam Blade Fury. Once I get the Battle Fury, it's actually faster to right-click, but for now, Blade Fury will speed up my farm. If you just sort of take a look at their heroes, none of them are doing particularly well. So I'm not too worried about getting out-parried. The Dragonite is a helm of the Dominator and treads, but Juggernaut with a Battle Fury, and more importantly, the levels is going to be able to out-parry him. Unless I do something really dumb with my positioning, or just make a huge mistake. They're probably ganking me top. They're all missing. I just saw someone running top. Yeah. I kind of want to get that last creep wave, but that's just me being greedy. You can see one here, one here. They definitely wanted to go on me. Did I tell me I didn't block that camp? Okay, good.
Push gank top, they're gonna push. But they're not going
Part of playing a carry is just being patient. Like I said, Juggernaut's not a super hard carry, but a lot of times, especially if you have ADD or if you're just a very aggressive player by nature, you get bored farming. You don't want to make kills happen. But in a game like this, there's just not too many opportunities. I mean, if you look at Dragonite, it's really the only hero who's been up top a lot of the game. 1300 health, a shitload of armor. For anyone who doesn't know how Omni Slash works, it is physical damage. You also have a chance to do slashes in between the guaranteed slashes of regular attacks, in between the guaranteed slashes of Omni Slash. But those are also physical. So against Dragonite, I mean, they're nice, but they're not going to be super effective. It's 1950. Anytime you're around the 50 to 53 second mark, you can pull and stack the camp. I think I did this one at the right time. For some reason, I have a little bit of trouble with this camp in terms of the timing, but usually around 52, 53. If you pull it, you see now you get 2. Of course, with the Battle Fury, this is a great opportunity to be getting lots of extra farm. And you can see my farm rate accelerates dramatically. The other benefit to the Battle Fury is now we can push harder. Of course, Juggernaut's a decent pushing hero before this, but he's a lot more effective now because you can hold Blade Fury in reserve if you ever need to escape. Something I forgot to mention about Blade Fury, one of the best things you can do with it is actually pop Blade Fury and then TP out. The only way they can deal with this is if they have something like Beastmaster or another ultimate that goes through BKB. So we're going for Roshan. They're probably coming, but we have that illusion scouting, so worst comes to worst, we'll back off. You can see the crits doing a pretty good job towards Roshan. They are coming in now, so this just becomes a little bit dangerous. This guy is in a bad position. He's going to let me get a full Omni-Slash off of him. So he's going to drop. Now we're going to focus on the Venomancer. I believe we got everyone we needed to. Let's go finish Roshan. Oh, hello, Queen of Pain. That was a bad stun. That was a good auto attack. So, with all those kills accomplished, we can finish the Roshan. I'm actually going to get pretty low doing this because my healing ward's in cooldown, but it's okay. I'm actually going to sell the Quelling Blade. And the reason for that is I really want to have a magic wand. Quelling Blade's nice, especially if you have Battle Fury, because that damage will cleave onto creeps. But it's not essential. I'm still going to push plenty hard. So now with the Aegis up, going to be popping the healing ward and pushing the top lane.
A fine idea.
You can tell we're really dominating this game, I mean, aside from the creep score, because the tower advantage is very strongly in our favor. This is something most pubs don't tend to... I mean, most people in pubs, even higher level players, will often just let their towers go. Either because they're chasing kills, they're just sort of messing around, generally not paying attention, or really playing, you know, the absolute hardest they can be. If you really want to win games, defending your towers is very important, though. Because once your towers go down, you can see how much easier it is for us to push. They can't really gank us effectively because there's nowhere to TP to. So it's important just for the map control, and also because it allows the enemy to farm more freely. Yeah, I think we had a little ward action there.
Already moving.
So at this point I have almost 3,000 gold. You can pretty much go for any kind of standard agility carry items at this point. I personally like minus armor stuff, as well as butterfly. But I might go for something a little bit more gimmicky. Maybe some move speed oriented stuff. So the wards get dropped, and now I'm going to drop my healing ward. And I have Aegis, so I'm fine sitting in the front lines. Gotta remember to micro the healing ward, don't be like me and just let it sit there to die, because that's not good. Because I am taking a lot of damage now. I'm using Blade Fury because I don't want to get disabled in this situation. You can see the healing ward was keeping me alive forever, pretty much. Decent Witch Doctor ultimate. Just kidding. Kill. I want to ult that guy. He's so fast. So, I mean, this is a pretty one-sided game at this point. There's really not a whole lot they can do. But you can see it all just started with, I mean, our mid played well, but I think equally importantly, more interesting to the Juggernaut discussion is we dominated our lane top. I did buy back once, but I was farming better, and then Venomancer mysteriously left the lane, which just made it even easier for me. It's a pretty one-sided game, but I think it demonstrates the basics.
As you wish.
I will mention for Omni-Slash, I didn't talk about this, but attack speed is really good on him because it means that you'll do random extra auto attacks in Omni-Slash, as I am just getting absolutely mutilated here. Holy crap, that's a lot of disables. I'm going to pop my ultimate. That was more of a defensive usage. I wasn't really trying to kill him, just trying to survive as long as possible. If I was a better player, I could have dodged that Queen of Pain ultimate. I'm not sure why I'm adopting that character when I'm talking, but hopefully it's not too annoying. Anyway, at this point we can just go for X. I don't see anything they can do to stop it. They just blew everything. Well, except for, I don't think they used Epicenter. So I'm kind of using my wand just for a little bit of extra HP. You can also Blade Fury and then auto attack things that are magic immune, so for example buildings. Well, I say they're magic immune, some spells damage them in Edict, but more or less they're magic immune. She really wanted to kill me, and I'm actually going to get the hell out of here now. Just kidding, I have healing ward again. But nonetheless, I do think it's time to back up. Is he really going to chase down my healing ward? That would make me sad.
Yes.
So I think I'm going to go for pure move speed. It's pretty good on Juggernaut, actually, especially against as many slows as they have. And it still gives you a lot of attack speed, so drum, S and Y. You can always split the S and Y up and go for a Manta and a Halberd going on if you want to.
Invisibility.
I could go kill this guy. Oh, except I wasted my invis because I'm a fool. Yeah, what you can use items for a second or so after you grab an invis rune. So for example, you could use a bottle charge right after popping an invis rune, and you won't dispel it because you haven't faded yet. I actually don't have that yet. But in my case, I waited too long to use phase boots because I was talking and a little bit distracted. So I'm just going to complete my drums, and then I'm just going to be constantly team fighting the rest of the game. I mean, we already got one set of racks. At this point, there's a chance of them coming back or slim to none, but I'm going to slow roll it, play it safe. Get the drums, and then it's time to end the game. So, you're going to notice that I'm spending a crap load of gold all at once. This is generally a bad habit. I could have stacked that camp as well.
My blade.
This is generally a bad habit. You don't want to be saving up your gold too much, unless you're saving for buyback. Because if you die, then you lose some of that gold. If you spend it before you die, then nothing gets wasted.
You die.
So I don't actually recommend this too much. I am going to finally sell my magic wand now. Damn.
What?
No, I need that courier. This is a filthy rich courier, man.
If you can.
Yeah, like if they killed that, I'd be very sad. So in I come just to push this lane. You're going to see one of the nice benefits to this build. I move at 485 move speed without popping a drum charge whenever I use the phase boot. So it makes him very hard to catch. It also makes him a great chaser. I am going to pop my ultimate here unless I get stunned like an idiot. That ultimate has a mini stun, by the way, for anyone who's wondering. So it actually can be used to interrupt stuff like Sand King ultimate. Generally very useful information to have.
On it.
And you can see a farm Juggernaut is actually a pretty decent late game carry. Like, I wouldn't pick him if you want a true hard carry, but especially in a pub game, he does enough damage. Especially if you get ahead, your ultimate will be hitting quite hard, you get a lot of extra slashes, so things looking pretty hunky-dory for me. I should probably go help my team push bottom. I have kind of a tendency to farm more than I should, if you haven't noticed that by watching my commentaries yet. You probably will at some point. And I especially tend to do it when my team's ahead by a lot. Don't ask me why, it's just something I do. I guess from my old days playing AFM. For anyone who doesn't know, that's easy mode, that you get extra gold. So if you play a hard carry, you can just farm all day and be totally out of control. But you get extra passive gold, I mean. Sorry if that wasn't clear. I want to go in, but without my ult, it's probably bad.
I am not ready.
What else can I buy? Oh, something else that can be fun. So I guess I'll talk about like fun items on Juggernaut. Something that's a lot of fun is Lothar's, Shadow Blade. What you can do is use Shadow Blade either to initiate and then Blade Fury on them. You can Blade Fury and then Shadow Blade and you will still damage them. At least actually don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you can. So that's a lot of fun. You can also get Force Staff, you can get Blink Dagger. Basically, like, he does enough damage with Blade Fury that if you want to play him as a ganker, you can. You can also go for First Blood ganks on enemy like other lanes. You don't just have to do it on your own. You saw me just in my lane, but I've played against Juggernauts who will like try to gank me from level 1. Trust me, it's real annoying if you're a hero that's not mobile, and they have a stun or a slow in that middle lane. You're just going to feed all day.
As you wish.
I mean, especially if you don't have wards. And then once you die once, of course, you're losing the lane. So. I'm popping the ult because they all grouped up. This means that they just absolutely melt. Also, I'll mention Battle Fury is fun on Juggernaut because he does... So, like I was saying, he has these built-in auto attacks. You see where it says jumps 9. Those are guaranteed hits, which each do a set amount of damage. He also has a chance to do auto attacks in between those. And the attacks that he does in between those can actually cleave. So you can end up hitting huge cleave crits while you're in the Omni Slash. And I think you saw a few of those there as I was just kind of murdering their team. I don't know how that guy died. But we're at the point where I feel like I should probably just take them out, put them out of their misery. Clearly this guy doesn't want to be put out of his misery. He likes slowly and painfully losing this game.
Practice.
Yeah, Juggernaut's a pretty good hero to be fed on, not gonna lie. And Poppy a drum charge. That's gonna be 1 kill, that's gonna be 2 kills. That's gonna be 3 kills. Yeah, that's a lot of kills. So at this point, I don't know. What do you even build? I mean, the game's over, but what can I buy just from the base? Can't buy that, but I can go close to it. A rare pub game where it's... I mean, I kind of hate when pub games go this one side. It's not really that fun, but I'd rather be on the winning side, that's for sure.
The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
I have my ultimate up.
Middle tower has fallen.
I'm not even going to be able to get this Abyssal Blade in time, unfortunately. But I will be able to dive that down. So guys, that's pretty much going to do it. That was the Get in That Ass Larry episode for how to play Juggernaut. Again, you know, I felt like my opponents were not the most coordinated, and I had a pretty easy lane. I did not play particularly well, but as always, I hope that you learned something from it, and if you have any feedback, any questions, anything you want me to expound upon or do differently in the future, please leave them in the comments for the video, and of course, if you enjoyed it, feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel. So for now, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. LD signing out. GG.